TXT's storyline has a lot of shenanigans. They've rewound time, they've traveled to different universes, and in various versions of their story, they've fought the big bad dragon, the dragon of the end that is said to bring the apocalypse. This is called the Starseekers. But for a long time, we thought that several music videos fell outside of that story, just kind of mirroring the lessons that were being shared, but in a more realistic sense. Through music videos like Loser Lover, 0 by 1 equals Love Song, and of course, Good Boy Gone Bad. The magic that they experienced in the Starseekers was largely absent. Until now. And it's kind of turned this whole thing on its head. In fact, I would argue that it proves this is just another one of TXT's fractal universes. As unique as a snowflake, but following the same path regardless. Because TXT's story here is really just driving home those few parallels that I mentioned. The ones that they've wanted to share with us this whole time. The moral of the story. This is just really exciting stuff, so let's get into it, shall we? Intro. Hello friends and sunflowers, my name is Lena and welcome back to my channel. I'm a hype theorist, and yeah, welcome to my channel if you're new. You are in for a ride. A sugar rush ride. Okay. Let's not delay any longer. At first glance, the Japanese version of Sugar Rush Ride seems to happen directly after the events of the Japanese version of Good Boy Gone Bad. Yeonjun is in the car by himself. Beomgyu has fallen off his bike. Again. Still? And Taehyun seems to be in the bathtub where he called Moa at the end of that music video. Where, he was frantically calling their girlfriend Moa, And yes, Moa, that is us. The fandom name. Kai sort of seems to be somewhere underneath where Taehyun is because the water is dripping down. I'm guessing that means that he wasn't captured at the end of the Good Boy Gone Bad music video. Which, it was kind of a dubious ending. He was just kind of looking at flashing lights. So I guess he got away. And it seems like for some reason, Soobin was placed on a train. Maybe because he wasn't the prime suspect, that was Yeonjun. Maybe he got off on a warning. I don't know. Either way, these boys are separate. They are, for lack of a better word in this case, lonely. They are betrayed due to the events of the past music video and can no longer rely on each other. So yeah, totally should continue off of that music video, right? Except there are a few inconsistencies that I just feel like they're worth noting. It might be really minor or explained properly in the future, or we're not really supposed to look at it as closely as I do, but that's why you're here, right? So here's the thing. In the car with Yeonjun, we get a very explicit shot of the money, the money bag. The one that, they were really stressed about in Good Boy Gone Bad because he stole it in 0 by 1 equals Love Song. And I mean, why is it there? I guess it's possible that they didn't burn everything in the Good Boy Gone Bad music video and they kept some or something like that. But it does seem a little strange to me, and it tells me that something might be different with this timeline than if we directly continued off of the Good Boy Gone Bad music video, basically. Additionally, there's this little tiny fish that's dangling from his front mirror. One that, spoiler alert, if you can spoiler alert a music video that's 3 minutes. Well, Kai releases this at the end of the music video into the air. But this is notable because in both 0 by 1 equals Love Song and Good Boy Gone Bad, the fish is seen in the sky, and Kai is the one usually who's looking at it, although there are other fish in the sky just in general. And yet it seems like they get released into the sky now, in this music video. So what's up with that? Again, I do actually think there's some possible explanations for that. For example, the fish being released now in this music video causes the fish to be released at all points in time forever because time is a circle. Also magic. But I'm just gonna throw this out there. What if this is happening before the Good Boy Gone Bad music video? Yeonjun started the music video by driving alone. We've already seen Beomgyu fall off his bike before. I don't know, there's some funky stuff going on in this music video that's really playing with your sense of time and understanding. And I might not have a perfect answer right now, to be honest. I know I don't have a perfect answer right now. But I did just want to throw that option out there, hey, maybe this is not where we think it is in the timeline. Maybe this is the first time they go to Magic Island, and then in Loser Lover they jump off the cliff, and whee! They want us to think it's afterwards. But there's evidence that says that it's not. Also, there's evidence that's telling me that the ending of the music video is not actually as real as you think it is. Or as real as they think it is. Anyway, we'll get to that. Now that I've raised the question, let's move on because, again, I don't really have an answer or a perfect answer for this at this moment, but I do have some things that I want you to consider. So please leave your theories and your comments in the comment section down below. I read all the comments, even if I don't reply, and I would really like to pin a really cool theory in the comments, so leave your thoughts. So to come back to the music video, we saw the boys lonely and separated, sort of angry, depending on the person. And all of this is happening regardless of where in the timeline this music video is taking place. And then they have a shared experience. A tinkling butterfly appears and leads them to Magic Island. A magical place that's literally a other dimension superimposed upon their own, in a specific area. So it occupies the same space in Korea called Tuksum Park, but if you're there on Magic Island, you can't necessarily interact with the normal world until you leave. But they do exist over one another, and I believe it's possible that they also interact with each other. This music video also appears to show the island breathing! But we don't really have answers for why that is right now, besides the dancing bushes that we saw at the end of the Japanese Blue Hour music video, and the trees having faces in the art in the Magic Island music video. So that's a theory for another day. But let's come back to the butterfly, because I think that the butterfly is actually the cause of their tinnitus, or tinnitus, because apparently I said that wrong previously. There's two ways to say it. I'm Canadian, I say tinnitus. Sorry. Tinnitus is a song on the Korean version of their Temptation album, this album. And tinnitus is actually a real thing. It's a ringing in your ears that doesn't really seem to have a source. It's not an external thing, it's just an internal ringing. But in the song Tinnitus, it also seems to bring forth to mind things that they feel bad about themselves about, or for example, in the song, it starts off with telling us the kind of goal that they had. Babe, I just wanted to be hot stuff, so they wanted to be cool. But then the ringing in their ears starts, the tinnitus starts, and they realize they can't be a rock star. Momentarily let out a sigh, I know I can't be a rock star. In fact, I believe this whole music video is detailing the events of tinnitus, especially if you think it might come after Good Boy Gone Bad. They started out wanting to seem cool, like they're hot stuff, which led them to acting out with Moa, such as when Soobin gets them kicked out of the restaurant, or Yeonjun steals the money. At some point, reality hits them that they won't get what they wanted. The song itself also talks a lot about being in a fishbowl, and I think that's pretty significant. These are lines like, as if submerged in a fishbowl, the bruises and tinnitus fill it up. In the empty house, feel so lonely. This immediately made me think of 0 by 1 = Love Song, where Yeonjun spends a lot of time staring at the fish in his bedroom, clearly feeling lonely, since he remembers those times that he and his friends were in that room. But also, in this music video, Japanese Sugar Rush Ride, we see a lot of water references. And even at the end, when they're driving, they kind of stick their hands out of the window and run their hands along the edge of what looks like just water in the air. It's air and water at the same time. As if they're in a fishbowl. In fact, it's not until their tinnitus that butterfly comes and actually enters Yeonjun's ear that we see everyone's true selves, basically. Their true state. They're asleep in the car while he's driving. And they're dreaming of this magic island, while Yeonjun, is just whoa, I've been driving, and he slams on the brakes, basically. He's recklessly been driving. Which is kind of why I'm confused about where this would come in relation to Loser Lover, because in that one they literally drive off the cliff, so was that the setup, and then this is a different... The timeline is so confusing. In a way, I think the tinnitus is both good and bad. It seems that the fairy dust that the butterfly leaves behind is what puts them to sleep, I think. Kind of imagine Tinkerbell from Peter Pan, except if the, like, pixie dust put them to sleep. But it also, like, gives them the ability to fly, to dream, which is a part of how they seem to get to Magic Island. Whenever they're on Magic Island, they're always waking up as if it's like, oh, I'm in a dream and I woke up here. But it also, like, reminds them of what's really in front of them. It's like, this is what's actually important right now. The tinnitus, the butterfly, leads them out of the dream, apparently, in the music video here. But also, the dream was kind of a problem as well. Like, we've seen some stuff go down on Magic Island, you know? But also, because of what I talked about in my explanation for the Korean version of the Sugar Rush Ride music video, the island and everything in it is a temptation, a sweet lie that they eat or drink or consume. Instant gratification. Go watch that video. But, like, after this. Anyways, it's possible that the butterfly just kind of leads them to anything that they might need in the given moment. Again, instant gratification. And, in fact, it might even be tied to Moa, who usually, in theory, should be acting in their best interests. Although they do call the cops on them. But also I think it could be tied to Moa because of the Magic Island music video where Soobin's kind of like covering his ears and he looks to the like sides and he sees Moa. So there's that to consider. It's possible that like the butterfly, Moa, saw that they were upset and lonely and separated and needed an escape and took them to the island and then saw that the island was no longer serving them and so it guided them off of the island. Right. You know, it's like, because, you know, once they were together, they were together. The magic kind of comes back for them. It seems to have healed their differences. I mean, it led them to the car where they could get out, and they were all together, and they seemed really happy. I mean, I don't know if it really fixed the problems in the first place, but, like, maybe they can just ignore that. Anyways, that's, like, a possibility. The butterfly is Moa, not good and bad, just showing them where they need to go. A little bit of instant gratification, a little bit of that sweet and temptation-ness. The other option, of course, is that they don't realize that they're actually deeper in the dream than they were originally. Some Inception stuff going on, maybe. Because, like I said, we do get a brief moment of, like, clarity where Yeonjun has the butterfly fly into his ear and he looks around the car and everyone's asleep. Despite literally being awake moments later, they're like, freaking out in the car. So again, maybe that fairy dust put them to sleep. I don't know. But I thought it was super weird. And if you watch the music video, they constantly wake up from being asleep. Like, how many times do they wake up? It's like you wake up again and you're in a new dream. How is the ending any different? Maybe they've been asleep the whole time. Maybe, you know, the butterfly is not Moa, but it is the devil instead. Hence why it seemed to be terrorizing Beomgyu in the Korean version of the Sugar Rush Ride music video. So yes, potentially it's like Inception. They're like deeper in the dream to the degree where they think it's actually real. I mean, after all, Yeonjun kind of has the cuts and a new cut that he had before. Well, we don't know that that's a new cut on his hand because we never saw his hand in the early music video, but I digress. He has the cuts that he had before he had in Magic Island, because when he was on Magic Island, he didn't have any cuts or anything like that. So I assume the hand and stuff was from the car accident that he was kind of saved from. I don't think we have a real solid answer for that right now. I would like them to not be on Magic Island anymore, just because I get the impression they're leaning towards them leaving the island. Just like how at the end of the Korean version, right? They left the dream together. And I think this is kind of in line with them starting to realize that they're actually falling, both metaphorically and potentially actually, depending on how you look at it. And I think they finally are starting to realize that while they jumped into it in the Blue Hour music video, they had actually been falling for quite a bit longer. Except this time they actually are realizing that they're falling. They're realizing they're falling asleep. And if the end of the concept trailer for Temptation is any indication, they might literally be falling as the house, the foundation that they were in, shifts and tumbles and they slide out. They have basically no choice but to fall. And again, if the end of the Sugar Rush Ride music video, the Korean version, is any indication, they realize that it's inevitable and they decide to jump down, leave the dream for real. Which might mean that the next album is more about the landing, I think, maybe? Like, we have their Temptation, TXT's whole story, where they were offered an easy way out. They were saved from a dire situation, like Yeonjun getting in this car crash, or, situations where the cat seems to just come at a very opportune time, like in Eternally. They could rewind time. They could escape to this other magical world. And then kind of just ignore what was happening in the real one. Like, they were literally ignoring their realities. Just look at Frost. No matter how you look at their story, whether it be the Starseekers or not the Starseekers, we're still unsure about if it just changed into emerging timeline or not, because, like, how are they on Magic Island? I think it's just possible that they were just always trying to escape their responsibilities and the consequences thereof. So yeah, they're still falling, and they just have to figure out how to land. I also think this explains the presence of the feathers in the music video as well. They've fallen off of them. They have broken wings. They aren't flying. They took an elevator to the top when they should have been taking the stairs, one step at a time. So there you have it. That's my explanation for the music video as a whole. But wait, maybe you haven't quite gotten your fill. Maybe you're like, wait, I still have questions. There's things you didn't talk about. Stick around, because I'm going to just break down now all of the different members and kind of like what might be going on with them individually, because they kind of each have their own story individually in this music video as well, and how it kind of ties into past things. And yeah, there's just some more questions that I would like to try to answer, or try to, shed some light on. So let's go. Hey, really quickly, I actually just wanted to bring up one more theory that my editor actually brought up when they were editing this video. They're like, hey, like, what about this? And I thought it was amazing. So what if every single person in this music video has their own version of this dream? It is not one dream like we assumed it was, but like, you see Soobin wake up and Taehyun's still asleep, and Taehyun's having his own version of the dream, and Yeonjun's having his own version of the dream where Soobin's helping him up. That would kind of explain the weird timeline stuff. They're all having their own version of the dream. That's mind-blowing. Anyways, I just wanted to add this in here really quickly as something more to think about, because I think that's a really good theory. So I don't usually start with Kai, because I usually tend to go in like age order or fan chant order, so he's usually at the bottom. But he's got some kind of intriguing things going on that currently have no real explanation, so I obviously need to talk about them. And it starts almost right at the beginning of the music video. When everyone starts to discover like the butterfly, it sort of swaps between like different intervals. Of course, in the music video it shows this person, and then it shows this person, and then it shows this person in the music video's order, and like showing us how they discover the butterfly, how they get to the island this time around. And yet, it seems that for some reason Kai's like parts in the beginning have been very intentionally placed whenever the lyrics of the song talk about the devil. For example, the liar on the bedside, Kai's shot. That sweet devilish smile, Kai's shot. And the devil said, again, Kai's shot. The allegory is very direct. Like, someone planned that. There's no way that was unintentional. Like, they had to have like storyboarded it, or the director decided this is the best place to put it, and they know more about the story than we do. I just find it really interesting that all of the instances of Kai in this music video up until that point are basically on the lines that have to do with the devil. Let me know what you think about this, because I feel like we're getting closer and closer to, for lack of a better word, the evil Kai era, or story arc, I suppose. Let me explain that just in case you're a little bit newer to the story. And this evil Kai theory starts by how Kai seems to get to Magic Island through the water, which he isn't alone in doing, but like he does it through like the reflection of the water that he's holding in his hands. Like, the butterfly is in the reflection of the water that he's holding. It's fairly distinct to me that that's how he gets to Magic Island, through that reflection. It like has a light or something, I don't know. It falls into the whole diving into the fishbowl thing that seems to be going on. And in Can't You See Me, he was definitely one of the more like lonely members. So that, that makes sense. He's in the fishbowl because he's kind of lonely. Yeah, sure. But it's also frighteningly similar to what happens in the Frost music video. So in the Frost music video, they're sitting there, they're getting their like fortune told, and the fortune teller tells them their true names, which I'm not going to go into the details too much on all the members here. But it kind of shows them like a bad ending version of their potential fate, which is tied to their true name. Kai's was that there seemed to be like a literal recreation of himself in this maze of mirrors, and then he chases himself through these mirrors, basically. Which, of course, this maze is one that he created. The one who built the labyrinth is his true name. But that's also the setup for why everything seems to go wrong for him. In the flashback scene for Kai, we see him staring straight into the reflection of the water. It's like a puddle of water and he's staring at himself. During the time that that music video came out, there were a lot of theories that the Kai that kind of breaks out of the mirror and the like reflection in the ending of that music video was not the Kai with angel wings, but in fact the Kai that had that kind of evil smirk, the one that was causing good Kai, I guess, to follow him. So the one that escaped in this theory is not good Kai, but evil Kai, and it helped explain why he maybe had angel wings in the beginning of the story and then switched to devil wings later. Like, this is why there's a devil version of him. Devil being used loosely. It could also be bat wings, dragon wings, something like that. But is that kind of what we're seeing now? Is this Kai actually the devil version of Kai? It is always possible as well that he was kind of possessed by the cat. Since the cat is depicted as the devil, and we do know the cat can shapeshift into just about anybody and can like impersonate people, and it usually does have 2 different colored eyes, but in the webtoon, sometimes it's not until the reveal that you see that it has 2 different colored eyes. So it's possible this isn't even Kai. If it isn't, then how is the fish being released into the air like something that the devil might want? I don't know. I just feel like it's so weird and important that his lines are on the devil lines. You know what I'm saying? Let me know what you think about this. In addition to this, Kai has 2 fairly other, like, notable scenes. One is the scene at the end that I already spoke about, him releasing the fish into the sky. He also has a scene where they're on the island. He picks up this, like, unidentifiable object and then, like, smushes it against the tree. And when he does this, it kind of almost looks like he squashed, like, an insect, like a bug or something like that. Like, it has this little, like, goop on the inside. I don't know, the first idea of mine when I was watching it was that it was like an egg of some sort, like a really small dragon egg maybe. Like, you know, the dragon of the end that prevents the apocalypse, or that creates the apocalypse, but maybe this was an act to prevent the apocalypse. Or like, maybe it was like the egg of some creature. Maybe it was a bug, because I mean, he did have the dragonfly in Magic Island. Either that, or it could be kind of some weird, like, chrysalis for, like, a butterfly that was formed, although the shape is incorrect. I will say butterfly chrysalises are, like, more, like, oblong shaped. Some people suggested it might just be a weird rock. After all, the island is alive, like, it breathes. So let me know what you think that might mean for the story. No matter what it is, once he crushes it, it leaves this little, like, purple goop behind, and that's a bit odd to me, actually. Unless he's somehow leaving, like, a marking behind, like, as a warning. If either that he's associated with the butterflies, which, again, could be good or bad. Just, you know, or inside of the cat, the devil. Or leaving a message to the butterflies that, hey, I'm coming for you, if they're, like, on the Moa side. Because he, like, draws a butterfly in the goop. It's very odd, to me, why he would do that. Do fish eat butterflies? That's asking for a friend. They eat bugs, right? Is that why he released it into the sky? Am I losing it? I don't know. Maybe he wanted the fish to eat the butterflies so that they didn't have the tinnitus anymore, and then I don't know. Anyways, the drawing to me also kind of looks like the X in TXT. Which is what I said during my reaction. Everyone's like, that's clearly a butterfly, Lena. And I'm like, you're right. But also, maybe the butterfly has been with us the whole time. Big brain moment. is our hope that everything will be okay after all the bad things are gone, of course. The last thing in Pandora's box. Hope. Unfortunately, he still has some stuff to work through, so, I mean, you know, I did say it, hope. It's last in the box, so. Beomgyu is still in his falling off the bikes phase and fighting with Taehyun era, so. The former is self-explanatory, because we literally see him having fallen off a bike right at the beginning of the music video. What a legend. In all seriousness, his arc makes the most sense when you imagine this music video is happening directly after the Good Boy Gone Bad music video. He managed to escape the police, but from his point of view, his friends, you know, may have been arrested. He was betrayed by Moa, his biggest supporter, and of course, he also just had a fight with Taehyun. Because in that music video, we did actually see them fighting. Potentially because of the situation of them all being chased by the police and Moa betraying them. But he may even blame Taehyun for trying to talk to Moa. Something similar to that? I don't know. Either way, it's clear that he is blaming Taehyun for the events of the situation. And this anger actually carries through into this music video. And it's made very clear where he's like throwing his bike into the shop window. And there actually are several ways that that's a hint that this is him being angry at Taehyun. The first is that we literally see like the other side where Taehyun's in the bath and he has the shadow of him throwing it towards him as if he's through the window. So that's pretty self-explanatory. The second is that in Beomgyu's point of view, in the window, we actually see like these bird cages that are there. Now birds have been pretty strongly associated with Taehyun since their debut. He's always had like a parrot, crows, and eagle associated with him, and so having the bird cage there just feels so symbolic that this is Taehyun that he's directing his anger towards, not anyone else, very specifically Taehyun. And I'm not sure, like, again, why exactly. All I have is speculation, but you know, something definitely going on between them, at least from Beomgyu's point of view on this, because he seems to be the one with the real anger here. Taehyun just is just doing stuff. Again, I said this before, I don't want to say they all became friends again at the end of the music video. They appear to, just like, you know, the Magic Island is tempting them to ignore their problems. I think that it's not actually solved. It's a little band-aid that gets put over the wound of their relationship. I don't really think they have any interaction specifically in this music video that isn't part of a group interaction. I don't think all is forgiven just yet. I think that the whole Taehyun versus Beomgyu thing is going to come back yet again and potentially be a major part of the story. We'll have to see, even once they've managed to like come back down to reality, to the ground. Actually, especially then. However, coming back to the beginning of this music video, he's also the one who literally goes through the window in this music video. I don't know why, but that feels really significant, since we literally got the like Temptation trailer, like the concept trailer, and it tempted them through the window in that trailer. Of course, that's the butterfly in this music video. It literally leads him through the window. I don't know, potentially it's the same thing, and I do feel like this is somewhat significant here, especially since he was the one terrorized by butterflies in the Korean version of the music video. So Taehyun is a bit of an interesting case here. First, he's never shown waking up on Magic Island in this entire music video. Soobin wakes up beside him, gets up, follows the butterfly, and then he follows the butterfly to the group of his friends where Taehyun is suddenly there and awake. Are there two of him? He's just miraculously there, awake. But Soobin literally left Taehyun here and went here where Taehyun was here with the other. Suspicious.
That's kind of sus though.
This is kind of why I think it's a dream within a dream. I'm really questioning their reality after supposedly deciding to leave the island. Like, are they actually even allowed to leave the island? Does the island even let them leave? You know? But also here, just like in the Korean version, I will mention, he is the one who decides to leave first. Like, he sees with his eagle eye, because he's the bird, he's the eagle. That's a reference to his true name, which is the one who hangs upside down from an old tree with deep roots, which is a reference to Odin. Again, not getting into it too much, but Basically, Odin, in certain myths, can turn into an eagle. So him and his eagle eye, he spots the butterfly. Reference to that. His role is to collect information, right? So he's the one who's like, oh, hey, look, there's the car. Let's go get in the car and leave. Which is exactly what happens in the Korean version of the music video. And it leads them off the island. Real or not. Whether he's real or not. I'm concerned. Notably, I will say, in the choreography, it does not seem like he wants to go to Magic Island in the first place. They literally have to, like, drag him. There's a whole section of the dance where they're just, like, pulling on his arm as he sings, and he's sitting down, and everyone else is like, come along, Taehyun. Again, might tie into why he doesn't want to leave. I assume leave reality. He doesn't want to leave reality. He likes reality. I don't know. Notably, I will say he's also the one who puts the band-aid on Yeonjun at the end of the music video, instead of Beomgyu, the person that's fighting with him, because he did that originally. So he kind of stole Beomgyu's role just then, although Beomgyu didn't look upset in the moment or anything. It's really confusing to me as to why that happened. Is this because they're all kind of different now? Did they switch roles? Like, why is this? If you have an idea for why that might be, let me know in the comments because I am very, very curious. Soobin seems to have fewer notes in this music video than in certain other ones. He's in the train in the beginning, like I mentioned before. Might be because they were like, just go back to school, or like they're gonna be more lenient on him or something like that. Maybe they're just sending him home. I don't know. If we're just imagining this is like after Good Boy Gone Bad, the authorities decided something, put him on the train. His scene is actually the one that breaks the timeline the most for me because like everyone else seems like immediately after, and his like seems to have passed some time, and just you kind of have to make some things up for it to connect. Regardless, we have known for a very long time that trains do take you to Magic Island. We've seen this in the Magic Island music video, especially if you're near Tuxum Park. Which is one of the hidden signs in the background. Actually, I think I forgot to mention that. In the background of their dance shot, there's a sign that says Tuxum Park. There's also one that says forget-me-nots, which are like these little blue flowers, and they feel like a reference to Moa, because Moa's usually blue, and a ghostish, and they have the phrase, remember my name, so forget-me-not. You know, don't forget me, remember who I am. It's reference to Moa, probably. Maybe. I don't know. Anyways, I kind of already covered how he woke up, you know. He leaves Jun behind and follows the butterfly to join his friends. Is after, I guess, him helping Yeonjun up at the beginning of the music video. Like, Yeonjun wakes up and he gets helped up by Soobin, and then like Soobin wakes up beside Taehyun. This is what I'm talking about. There's some weird time shenanigans. Honestly, I don't know. Maybe it's just shown out of order, or like, again, the pixie dust every time the butterfly goes through, like, puts them back to sleep. Maybe they just really like taking naps. I don't know. He does actually find the feather in this music video, which, as I explained, is likely specifically because they're falling, you know, they're broken wings. But he also has angel wings at the end of the Doom's Night. And Kai, again, he had angel wings in like Nap of the Star at the beginning of their story. And in the Japanese version of 0 by 1 Love Song, Taehyun has angel wings. So there's a lot of wing imagery. So now they don't have any wings. The feathers are on the bottom. I'm leaning towards this representing like it symbolically. They've lost their wings. Their feathers have shed. So that's kind of all I have for Soobin, unfortunately. Big question mark. And this brings us to Yeonjun. Our forever warrior spearheading his way into danger and driving off of roads, apparently. Potentially, he's the one who, you know, causes them to fall, if you count it as him being tricked by the cat and indulging in the temptation as him being, like, the cause of it, metaphorically, obviously. He literally gets distracted by the sweetness, the ringing of the butterfly, and he drinks the temptation offered to him. The one that saves him from a terrible accident, so, like, I don't blame him. Do you blame him? He was kind of backed into the situation, even though the butterfly tempted him and distracted him in the first place, which caused him to get into the accident. Anyway, Yeonjun gets helped up again by Soobin in a mirror of the scene from Nap of the Star. but except in this case it's a different person. I think we're really supposed to be reminded of this scene here, since that was where they all originally found each other. Actually, I didn't really talk about it too much here, but there's literally so many references to their past music videos in this music video. Like, I think it's supposed to remind us about all these things that they're leaving behind. Like, this is the end of an era. I'm really getting that impression here. And Yeonjun, I mean, here's the thing. He comes to his senses at the end of the music video, I think. He's like, wait a minute, everyone's asleep. We're not even in real life. He sees the lie around him. Kind of like how Beomgyu at the beginning of the music video, the Blue Hour music video was like, he's the only one awake, keeping in mind he's also the one affected by the butterflies in this music video. Yeonjun realizes something. And he stops the car, which causes everyone to wake up. Whether or not they wake up in reality or in a dream, I'll leave that up to you for now. But he's already made his choice. He's already kind of had the temptation. You know, like I keep saying, he has to deal with these consequences now. He still stole the money in this universe. He still has all the scratches from driving off the road. His car is okay though, somehow. I don't know how. But I guess it's the same magic that happened at the end of like Loser Lover. And now, you know, they realized, okay, so let's stop running away. That was them starting to fall, and now they're ready, and they realize that the ground is coming up really, really quickly. I just hope that after all of this, with all of his friends, that they actually stick the landing. And that's it. Oh my goodness. This is a long one again, but thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of this music video. Did I just say music video? Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end of this video. Not music video. If you did like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe with notifications turned on so that YouTube tells you every single time that I post a new video. Of course, I've been making a lot of shorts recently as well, and I do hope now that I have someone editing this, thank you so much, that we will be able to like make videos a little bit more frequently, especially like these long ones, which I know everyone really likes watching. I do want to give a shout out to my patrons over on Patreon. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. You are really helping make this possible, so I really, really appreciate it. If you want to become a patron, the link is in the description down below. You'll get access to our private Discord server, early access to scripts, and all kinds of fun stuff like that. So check it out. As it is, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay sunny, everyone. Bye! You're recording, right? Yeah. I don't trust technology. I don't trust that I myself hit record properly.